it's time for the February wrap-up, and this month was actually quite a good month for me because it was the first month of break from university, so I had quite a lot of time. And first of all, I picked up Peter Pan, and when I started reading this, I realized I never read the original story of Peter Pan. I watched all the Disney version movies, but I never actually read Peter Pan. So I really had to do that, so I did. And this isn't a children's book. Honestly, there's someone dying at nearly every page. I was really shocked when I read it, but I did still really love it. It's just such an innocent story, even though there's so much blood and hate and murder and everything. It's still such an innocent story, and I did cry in the end when they all leave Peter. I did cry a lot. And then also in the very end when Wendy and Peter say goodbye. It's just, yeah, it's a classic and it made me cry like a classic. Then it was time for #AYearathon again. And for that I read 2 books. The theme was romance because of Valentine's Day, obviously. And I will link the full wrap-up review thing for that down below. But I did read Slammed by Colleen Hoover in German and then 100 Names by Cecilia Ahern in English. And I loved both of them. This one is actually a trilogy, I think, and I'm waiting for the second part now. They are already all 3 out, but I just couldn't get my hands on the second one yet, but I'm really looking forward to reading it because I really love this one. It has poetry slam and a lot of emotions, so I'm pumped about reading that. And this one, Cecilia Ahern, I actually only read this because the last one I read by Cecilia Ahern was really great. It was mostly about friendship. It's called The Year I Met You. And the most books I read by Cecilia Ahern up until that were really cheesy, and I didn't kind of get into that much. But the last one and this one as well were really nice and not cheesy, and they had a really different aspect to the story. So I'm thinking of picking up another book by Cecilia Ahern. So please, if you have a good recommendation of Cecilia Ahern's book that aren't cheesy and full of cliches and full of romance, but have some other aspects to the story, then please let me know in the comments down below. And of course I also read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. If you're new here or if you haven't known yet, I have never read Harry Potter before in my whole life. I know it's a sin, but I kind of grew up with the movies more than the books. So I got the whole book set box for Christmas, and I read the first book in January, and now my goal is to read 1 book each month. And in February I read Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And this might actually be my favorite one of them all. I'm not quite sure if it's this or I think the 5th one. I can never remember the names. Anyways, I really enjoyed this. I might have a minor crush on Tom Riddle. Just that guy is, I don't know, he's so sarcastic, and I really like him. Anyways, so of course I loved it. It's still a bit childish from the writing style, which is obvious because these are meant to be children's book. But this one was a bit better, and from the writing style it wasn't that childish. And I'm hoping that the further ones will be even more adult, let's say. And I also watched the movie because I want to do a book to movie adaptation comparison. So as soon as I finished the book, I watched the movie. And I gotta say, compared to the book, the movie is kind of rubbish. I really like the movie, of course I do. Especially I liked when we get into the house of the Weasleys. I thought that was amazing and totally on point. But it was very rushed in the beginning. There were a lot of details I missed, like the thing that we don't really get to see that the situation for Harry and the Dursleys' house is even worse, and we also don't get all these moments in the Weasleys' house, which I really adored. I would have wished we had gotten more into that, but I guess that just was so much in the story that was more important in the end, so I understand why they did it. I just wanted more details in the beginning. I also think that the Polyjuice potion might have been banana milkshake. It looked like it. So let me know what you think it is. Onto the other movies I watched this month. There were some really great ones. The first one might be my favorite movie of the year, and I'm saying this before Civil War and Alice in Wonderland come out, so that might change, but it was really, really amazing. It's called Can a Song Save Your Life, and it's with Mark Ruffalo and Keira Knightley, both of whom I love dearly. And I can't really tell you that much about the story without spoiling anything. It's mostly about two really wrapped up people making music together. But I think it's more about the sentiment of the movie than about the story. It just felt really good. And there was one scene in the movie that I'm gonna read out now, where she says to him, you cannot sign me and I don't want to be signed. And he says, exactly what not to love. And that's how I would wrap up this movie, because it's just, yeah. It's a movie that doesn't really make sense. It doesn't make sense why they're all in this story, but somehow it works and I love it. Speaking of loving it, Deadpool! I watched Deadpool. Of course I did, it's Marvel. But I'm still not really sure. While I was in the movie I was amazed and it was funny and it was something really different. I like this like anti-hero vibe. So I did really enjoy it whilst I was in the movie. I also really enjoyed like the cinematic aspect of it, where he like talks to the audience and stuff. That's really something new and interesting. But when I, like a day later when I thought about it, I felt a bit disappointed. And I think that's just from the point of view of a person who really loves this superhero thingy. Like I'm so into it. I'm a sucker for a good superhero. And even though this new anti-hero and this like turning the back to all the real superheroes and doing your own thing was really interesting and funny, and I think a really good new movie. It is definitely not my favorite superhero movie, and he's also not my favorite superhero, just because I like the old classics, I guess. But I would definitely recommend watching it. If you're unsure if you should watch it or not, you should. It's great. Then I watched two movies of which I haven't heard at all. The first one is a French one. We watched it in German, Das Brandneue Testament. I will leave a link or the name or anything down below, because again I forgot to look it up, I'm sorry. Anyway, it's about God being alive, God really existing, and he's an alcoholic and really bad to his family and everything. And basically his daughter really doesn't want to stay with him anymore and she hates him, so she goes out into the real world and she lets everyone know when they will die, and then she searches for 6 new apostles to write down their stories. And it was really, really weird. Like sometimes I just sat there and was, whoa, what's happening? What's going on? But it has this childish way of presenting the really important things in life, because it is a child. It is this little girl. She's like, I don't know, 7 or 8 or whatever. So it has this childish way, and it's really cute. It's just really cute, and there's still so many important things in it. So I really liked it. And the second one was Caeser, which is basically just day in Hollywood. A really extremely complicated day in Hollywood. So we have this Hollywood set of a film studio or something. Let me just... Here we have this Hollywood film studio, and basically what I think they did was just put all the really famous actors into this film studio and then kind of just shout action and see what happens. Because there's like Scarlett Johansson, George Clooney, I don't know any names, but they're all really famous. It really doesn't have that much of a storyline. It's just people acting, doing stuff, but they're really good actors, and like it was funny, it was entertaining, it was interesting, there were some emotional moments, so it really was a good movie. The thing about this, and I'm still not sure if I like it or if I don't, but the thing about it is that it doesn't have a central message. It doesn't really have a message at all, or at least I couldn't find it. But it doesn't have a central theme or topic or anything. It's really just a day in a Hollywood studio. So like, you know, most films have like, either it's about finding true love, or it's about standing up for what you believe in, or anything like that. But this movie didn't have such a topic, and I think that's great. I think that's great that they were brave enough to do that. As I said, I'm still not sure if I liked it or not. Maybe it's just the way the movie was done, like it's not really my type of movie. But I think that there should be more movies like that, because when you think about it, this aspect of having a central topic is quite unrealistic. So this was just, it was really just about the story, it was just about the movie. It wasn't about your life or other people's life or the center of the universe, or I don't know. It was really just about the movie, it was just about the art and just about the acting. And I like this getting back the focus onto what really matters in the movie. I like that. So if you've seen it, please let me know what you think about it, because I'm unsure still. So those were all the movies and books I read/watched this month. Let me know what you watched or read, or if you read or watched anything of this. Just leave me a comment about anything of this topic, and I would love to chat about it. But I think that's it for February. And ooh, I just remembered I also picked up the first volume of Marvel's comic Loki, the original series. I'm only like a few pages in, but I'll let you know in the March wrap-up how it was. I really love it so far. But yeah, I think that's it. I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you next week, and remember to always smile every day, because your smile is beautiful. Goodbye!